Yeah, I think, it's kind of, we're still working through that, coming out a little slower in the first half. And I think we did a way better job today than we have in the past few games of coming out slow. And I think we came out a little harder. Shots weren't falling for us that we normally would make, but we were fighting through that. And I think they just started falling in the second half. So it, helps get the crowd into it, get the energy up.
David or Jordan, did you guys go back at all and look at what was working for you guys at the beginning of the season? Because this felt a lot more like what you guys were doing earlier in terms of transition and aggression on defense than you had really.
Yeah, we went back to our sideline series. That's one of our staples of our offense. Sideline is good for us because it gets people to move. It gets guys in the flow. Not that the other stuff wasn't working. I think this just works better for us, the personnel we have. So we went back to our sideline series and things like that, and it paid off tonight.
Is that more of the weaving or
To come down, the pitch ahead, this the big swing it, ball screen, things like that.
Can either of you talk about the job that Roger did guarding Williams Goss in the second half?
Take that one.
Yeah, Roger's a big time defender. He's a big time defender, and coaches trying to get him a killer instinct on defense. He's a really good defender in practice, and tonight you got to showcase, his length, his athleticism, his ability to contest shots at the top of the release. So, that was just a glimpse of what Roger can do on the defensive end.
David, did it feel at all like this game was on a different intensity level than some of the non-conference ones? Particularly with you?
I don't know. Not for me. I try to attack every game the same way. But how it's the first conference game, so everybody's hyped up. It's like a fresh start to the season almost. You come out. We end the non-conference season kind of slow, kind of beat down. And this is kind of a way to look at it as starting out 0-0 again. So we came out and we fought really hard. And I think that was good for us.
Jordan, you've had games like this where you sort of feel like you're really getting flow and you just feel like everything's going in. Talk about what it was like out there for you tonight.
Just got into a good rhythm early. I missed the first and then came back with a couple, but I talked to Coach this week. I sat down with him. He said you just got to stay with it the whole game. I think I got away from that. I was getting down on myself, worrying about things outside the game. But inside those lines, it's only those 40 minutes that really matter. And I think I did a better job of just concentrating on the game plan and trying to help my team win tonight.
Any other questions for our student athletes?
David, can you talk about how much better you guys are when Jordan's playing like you did tonight?
Well, I think if anybody on your team scores 30 points, your team's going to play a lot better. But no, Jordan, when we got guys going like that, that's great for our offense because sometimes when we're struggling to score, you look at our past however many games and we get in a lull where we just can't get the ball in the bucket. So when we got somebody who's going, somebody who gets going, putting points up, it kind of takes the edge off for everybody. It doesn't feel like there's a bubble on the rim.
For either of you guys coming off the two-game losing streak, how important was it to open conference play this way with a big win?
To be honest, you acknowledge the 2-game losing streak, but it's not one of those things you crawl into the back of your mind. You just got to come out with intensity. It's conference play now. That's what really matters. Not that the non-conference doesn't matter, but you're going against great teams every night now. Even Washington State, So we just had a sense of urgency. We knew in the past we didn't come out with that same urgency, and tonight we try to do that from the beginning of the game.
What marked the difference that you guys were playing with in transition tonight? There seemed to be a big uptick in the pace that you guys were playing at. It reminded me more of some of the games from earlier in the preseason, like how you were playing at Syracuse, for example. What shifted that for you?
Just an emphasis on pass advance, kicking the ball up the court. We got great bigs who can run the floor, so we worked on pass advance and the ball running into ball screens. Like I said earlier, the sideline action really works for us. So I think that kicked it off for us from the beginning. Washington's a team that likes to run a lot, so it was two similar styles that kind of helped us get back into our style. So that helped too.
Did you think that you were going to have to almost beat them at their own game since they are a similar running team to you?
We didn't really think much about them. We had to focus on ourselves. We didn't really focus on what they do. We knew they were going to run in transition, but that's what we like to do too. So we really focused on ourselves. We need to get out and run. We need to put pressure on defense because in the past few weeks, defense has been able to get back and set up on us and just set their pack line, which is what they want to do. But when we run, I don't think there's many teams that can keep up with us.
Is it almost easier to play at a high intensity pace against a team that demands that of you as opposed to a slower
Yeah, it's easier to flow. It's much easier to flow into offense. I mean, when the rebound comes off, you got guys sprinting. Makes the game a lot easier to read things coming down the court.
Did Coach talk at all at halftime about how you could attack their zone? I know they didn't bring it out much in the second half, but they were very successful in the first half.
Yeah, we just had to have ball movement. Sometimes I think we tend to, especially in this game, they brought the zone out on us and we got a little stagnant on offense and they made a push against us. I don't remember what the score was, but they made a pretty significant push and it took us a while to start, moving the ball and attacking the zone. So it was just really focusing on really trying to break it down, get in the lane, create opportunities for our teammates.
Excuse me if this has already been asked. What was the effect of the loss to Bakersfield? Did that influence you positively or negatively?
Yeah, I mean, it influences. You never want to lose, but we looked at the past couple of tapes and we talked about it as a team how we've been playing since I think Fresno State. It wasn't with the same fire and intensity and the up-tempo pace that we usually play. So we watched that tape and we saw things that we just let slip. Coach says there are little things that we got to do. Setting up your man on cuts, screening hard, that all adds up to getting layups, sprinting back on defense. It all helped. So looking at that tape really helped us.
Jordan, how does it feel to score 30 points?
It feels good. It feels better to win though.
Hey, David, could you just talk about your plan of attack with Upshaw and you blocked 5 shots tonight, but you guys seem to have a plan against him, caught him off balance a couple times and scored and jumped off.
Yeah, we wanted to get him moving. We wanted to make him move around as much as we could. We tried to get him into a lot of ball screens, trying to move around the top of the lane more. So we tried to take him out of position, but he still ended up with 5 block shots, but a great shot blocker will do that. And then, when you get in the post, you're kind of looking and you see he's trying to read your shot, and so you can get a little drop off. So we were really just trying to move him around.
Sorry, I got one more. We just talked to Coach Romar, and he talked about that they missed on a couple of ball screen opportunities in the second half. Is there like this constant adjustment that where you guys are setting the screens a little bit differently, maybe after halftime, and they kind of miss it, or is there like a constant change in that area of how you set your
I think it just kind of depends because in the first half they were really downing the ball screen, so they were trying to force us away from the middle every single time when we were setting the ball screen. So sometimes you slide under and try to help the guard just come under your ball screen. So it was just adjustments. You just try to read how they're playing defense on it.
After the Bakersfield loss, it seemed like Coach was asking for some offensive help for you guys to step up, maybe outside of Tyrone. Was that a message you guys heard at all?
I mean,
You thought about?
he doesn't. I mean, the thing is, Dave is capable of doing this every night. There have been things, there's been. I think his emphasis was more on rhythm. Don't second guess. In practice sometimes, we'll get in there and pump fake, and then we'll think about shooting it. He said, you just gotta let it go. Like I said, since Fresno State, Tyrone's been carrying us. He's been doing a great job, but guys like David, Kingsley gave us huge minutes tonight. You just gotta play in rhythm. Don't worry about, because he's gonna come at us anyway. So you miss a shot, you make a bad play, you just gotta keep playing.